You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home. I am going to keep going, in spite of my better judgment. Okay. What? You're his father, then? Chris asked, pointing at the Lucario. He nodded.
He is my son. We lost him when he was still in his egg a long time ago near the southwest region of the Sinnoh.
Okay, I don't mean to pick holes. I don't mean to split hairs. But how the fuck do you recognize him if you haven't seen him since he was literally a fetus? How? This is so fucking dumb. It's painful. Okay. I'm just going to keep going. You know? Best not to question. As I once said, I think I ought to question this. I think this crosses the line a little bit, but I'm going to keep going nonetheless. Wait, I found an egg near Jubilife. I presume Jubilee. I don't know, maybe it's Jubilife. I don't know the geography of the Pokemon's lands. Wait, I found an egg near Jubilife City as long time ago too, but I gave it to a trainer after he helped me with something, Riley said. But how did Chris obtain that egg? I think I met the same trainer who you met, and he gave me his egg, Chris said, obviously lying and trying to evade the truth, who could make many questions to all of them. Maybe I should read the Bond of Aura, because I'm kind of curious to know how they actually did meet. Bond of Aura, by the way, is the story that was made before this. This is actually a sequel. This is the second in the Chris and Lucario saga. I never read the origin story, but so I don't know how they actually met up. They explained it briefly back in chapter 1, but I can't remember now. Chris said, obviously lying and trying to evade the truth, who could make many questions to all of them. Wait, did you say we? Suddenly, a Lucario, who was shiny because of her, yes it was female, fur, was yellow where it was supposed to be blue. She was tall too, but she was tiny, comparing her size with Chris's Lucario's size, came from the crowd of Lucarios, and she stood behind the leader. Apparently she was crying a little. Have you found my baby? Oh, she asked to Chris's Lucario's father. In spite of how gobsmackingly dumb this is, it's kind of nice. She asked to Chris's Lucario's father.
Not yet, but fortunately, we found our first missing son.
He pointed at Chris's Lucario. She looked at him and she started to cry even louder.
My son, you're here!
Chris's Lucario went with his father and mother. He left Chris on the floor, and he ran at his mother and hugged her while he was crying a little.
Mother, father, I thought I was alone in the world.
Wow! Fuck you, Chris. Fuck you.
I thought I was alone in the world, but I never thought either I could find you here.
Wow, this is just incredible. Not only we found the Lucarios of Maylene and Cynthia, but also we found Lucario's family too, and he is the son of the leader of this valley, Chris said, looking at Pichu. It's like Madagascar too. Pee, Pichu, pee. It's good for him, Pichu said. Wait, our first son? Chris looked at Lucario's family. Do you mean you have another son too?
Not a son, but a daughter,
the leader of the valley said.
I see. That is the motive for calling all the Lucarios of all Sinnoh, right?
Cynthia asked, smiling a bit.
That is correct, but it sounds rather odd for just calling all of them for just finding our daughter, but there is a major problem in reality.
What major problem?
Maylene asked.
Everything started 7 suns and 6 moons ago.
The leader of the valley remembered an event that happened 1 week ago in the night. Flashback.
On the middle of the night, we were sleeping under the stars of the sky. In that day also, we were waiting for a major event that was going to happen very soon.
Chris's Lucario's father narrated.
What was that event?
Maylene asked.
The only important event that was going to happen was the most interesting in the whole story of the Valley of the Aura.
A fight against a legendary Pokemon? Chris asked.
No, more important than that.
Something about the Lucarios? Riley asked.
You're close. I'm giving you a hint. From what thing are the Pokemon born?
Pokemon eggs?
Maylene asked.
Correct. And what are the Pokemon that are Lucarios?
Riolus, Cynthia responded.
Correct, and we had many eggs containing Riolus inside that were going to hatch, and one of them was my daughter.
And what happened to them? Chris asked.
That is where I want to explain.
The scene shows the Lucarios... The scene shows the Lucarios living in the valley, sleeping in caves and above trees. There was an area with many Pokemon eggs far away from there, and suddenly... why would they keep their eggs far away from when they slept? Wouldn't they want to keep them safe in the night, in case of predators or whatever? I know it's very difficult to get to that valley or whatever, but all the same. Far away from there, and suddenly 10 shadow figures appears, sneaking inside towards the eggs.
That night, humans started to infiltrate our valley while we were sleeping. When they saw the opportunity, they took every single egg from us.
Once the figures finished stealing the eggs, one of the Lucarios woke up by the noises they were making. After he saw 6 of them climbing the cliff, he glared at them, and he charged up an aura sphere. He fired it at one of the figures. It made an explosion, and the light coming from the sphere revealed their appearance. They were wearing spacesuits with light blue haircut, and with G on the suits. The Lucario... with G on the suits. The Lucario roared, and it woke up every Lucario on the valley, and after they saw the mysterious thieves climbing down the mountain, they all jumped to the cliff to chase them, but they didn't saw anything, but there was a black helicopter flying away from the valley, far away in the air.
Since that night, we used our aura powers combined to call every Lucario living in Sinnoh to help us in finding the eggs.
End of flashback.
And now you know why we called every Lucario to the valley.
And did you found them yet? Chris asked. The leader shook his head in disappointment.
We haven't. We are starting to worry about the eggs, and if they were taken to another land far away from Sinnoh and the valley.
Wait, I remember something about eggs, Cynthia said, trying to remember if she heard of Pokemon eggs before.
If she heard of Pokemon eggs before.
I imagine she has, yes. Yeah, I remember it too, Maylene said, also trying to remember.
Didn't my Lucario told us something about eggs before in Route 215? Riley asked, looking at his Lucario.
How did you all forget? You literally were just there.
Yes, the truck, Chris said in surprise. You said the mysterious thieves were wearing spacesuits with weird light blue hair and a G on their suits, right? The leader nodded. We saw them on the way here. Riley's Lucario saw something inside the truck, and there were lots of Pokemon eggs in it. The leader gasped.
Are you sure?
Definitely.
Then we need to assault them and take the eggs back to us,
the leader said. He looked at every Lucario on the valley. So wait. Let me get this straight. Let me just clarify this, because I'm a little confused. So they were transporting the eggs, and it was a week ago that they initially stole them. But these guys just passed them on their way to the mountain, and it only took them about an hour to fucking get there. So, what was the fucking hold-up? Did they have to stop at some other base first, along the way? If so, why didn't they just leave the eggs? Maybe it will all be revealed in due time, and I will see, and it will make perfect sense. Or maybe it's just dumb. I don't know.
Then we need to assault them and take the eggs back to us,
the leader said. He looked at every Lucario on the valley.
No, wait. Leave this to us, Cynthia said, placing her hand on the leader's shoulder.
We can't leave this to you. We need to retrieve the eggs, and fast.
I know you want to retrieve them, but with force?
That is right. We are going to use
the force. The Star Wars parallels are getting stronger by the second.
We are going to use the force.
Sorry, but that is a very bad idea, actually.
What? Why?
Using force is never going to resolve anything. You have to think carefully before acting. Besides, if you only use brute force, they're probably going to escape.
I don't know about that. Think about 100 Lucarios using fucking aura spheres. I don't think they're going to get away from that. The leader looked at the floor, then Chris's Lucario placed his hand on his other shoulder.
Leave this to us, Father. I promise I'm going to rescue my sister with the help of my friends. Fine, you can go, but you need to fulfill your promise. Or else...
What is it with these passive-aggressive threats among Lucarios, even own members of the family? Maybe it's just a species trait. Maybe.